Welcome to Flashback Tracks. Travel back in time each Friday to an era of big hair, leg warmers, and Walkmans.
Far out.
Veg out with some clips from Downtime Broadcasting's promotional audio cassette magazine from the 80s and 90s, right here on the World Wide Web.
The phone rang in my Atlanta office in early March of 1984, and someone identifying himself as the president of a savings and loan in one of the triad cities of North Carolina wanted to know if I knew a specialty advertising salesman whom I'll call Bob Smith. Naturally, I asked for the reason before admitting that he was one of my top producers, not to mention a good friend. He's that good a friend, you understand. The caller explained, "Your man Smith called on me yesterday, and I told him in no uncertain terms that as a personal philosophy, I wouldn't give a dime for a carload of advertising specialties." I thanked him for that and asked how I could help him. He said, "I'm not through yet." I also told Smith I really didn't want to talk with him or anyone in his profession because I've seen too much mediocrity in your industry's salespeople and products. Well, I thought to myself, this guy's spending his own nickel to get himself and me worked up, but I'm not biting. He continued, "But do you believe it, Mr. Dodd? He actually interested me in an idea, even after I did my best to run him off. As a matter of fact," he said, "I have never been so impressed with a salesman's handling of a difficult situation." Now, Smith doesn't know it, but I expect to place a sizable order with him for both Christmas gifts and for a new account promotion for our 38 branches. Well, I jumped in with, "Yep, that's my Bobby. Trained him the best I could." The caller concluded, "Now, the reason I'm calling you is that I felt someone with your organization should know about Smith's call and presentation." That evening, I phoned Bobby to relate the good news. He laughed and enlightened me on even more details. He said he had just finished a call in a part of town he didn't normally work and decided to make a cold turkey call next door on the savings and loan. Now, Smith laughed again and stated that he had mistakenly entered through the back door. Bobby could do that. He then asked the secretary if he could see the advertising manager. At just that moment, the secretary turned to someone walking by her desk, and Bob overheard the person say to her, "Tell him I'm out." Well, up jumped our shrinking violet salesman and said to the passerby, "Yes, sir, your father asked me to call on you." You know, Bob never satisfactorily explained to me why he used that particular approach. It did get him an interview, however, during which all the things took place just as the caller had related to me earlier. Finally, as Bob Smith told it, the prospect backed up just a little and said to him, "I don't sound like much of a banker, do I?" At which Bobby finally decided to return a little fire, saying, "No, sir, but I'm glad to hear you speak. At least I know one banker is human." Well, that broke up the buyer, and he said to Bobby, "You're a rare, bright spot in the business world, Smith. I do appreciate your sales persistence." At that point, our boy got down to business and presented several product ideas, and you already know the rest of the story. This is Terry Dodd, and that's my report.
Travel back in time with us next Friday as we share more clips from the 80s and 90s on another rad episode of Flashback Tracks, exclusively on Promo Corner. Time to bounce.